driving down to the bottom of
Sierra Nevada or Granada.
Down to Granada, having finishing off the week with a long, tough run. It's been a little bit easier week after the first two brutal week of the camp, so a little bit easier. How do you think the first 3 weeks has been?
I think they've been good. Of course, it's a lot of Ironman is something new for us, so there's a lot of learning moving forward, and of course we don't really get the answer before we are racing, but trying to learn as quick as possible, not making like big radical changes, but more like, let's say, reasonable changes, because it's an Ironman, not an Olympic distance or half Ironman. So taking that into consideration, I would say that having taken down, let's say, not as much, let's say, higher intensity but also now more longer distance, I would say that despite that, I would say power at the higher intensities and durations are actually quite okay. So I would say, based on that 3 weeks, that has been quite nice from a training perspective, but also we can't complain about the weather this time. It's magnificent to be in Sierra Nevada.
But now we're heading down to Granada for a long run, 7 by 10 minutes of threshold intervals. Very extensive workout, but again, it's rest day tomorrow, so I can kind of push quite hard and just emptying the tank ahead of easy day tomorrow.
Then we're down at Granada. Christian just have started his warm-up. 20 minutes of standardized warm-up that from a warm-up protocol we have developed. Thousand meters. So now he's doing a few short bursts of a little bit speed above LT2. Feeling?
Oh, okay. Soon done with the warm-up, and it's like 20 more K of climbing. It's okay. Feeling good.
And far down there we have Granada. 4 minutes into the first interval, using the first interval to adjust, to make sure that we get the load right, and at the moment looks very good. I haven't checked exactly how high we are at the moment, but we have started to climb quite high up, or I'm sitting just in a car, so for me it's easy. Christian is the one doing the work. So using the first interval to just find the proper pace and check that the metabolic demand is where we want it to be, and then we check the lactate, see where it is, and make adjustments accordingly. That was the mark for that. It's approximately 1 minute left. So a few minutes into the second interval, just past 1500 meters. First interval was very controlled, below LT2. Now he's ramping it up a little bit on this one, and we are trying to pinpoint altitude already from now the second or third interval. It gives us the ability to control the session a little bit, how to say, more controlled when using lactate than speed and power on this kind of session. Of course, Christian has a very well developed internal feeling for lactate, so, or not for lactate, but for, you can't feel lactate, but good internal feeling for what's sustainable and not for various durations. Huh?
A little bit harder.
Lactate wise?
2.1, I guess. So this is the second one.
We're closing in on 1600 meters.
Yeah, nice view. So 1.7 on the previous one, so we're increasing a little bit.
And we have 1.4. You have to go faster, Christian.
Have to push.
2 minutes approximately into the third interval. Lactate actually dropped from 1.7 to 1.4 from first to second interval. So still actually, I would say, well, it's very controlled, and is now lifting his pace even more, his power even more for the third interval, climbing towards 1800 meters. And lactate got up a little bit, but still sub LT2. He's now checking his power. We are lifting the power approximately 10 more watts to see where that brings him. But again, taking into account that we are gradually getting higher and higher.
Four down, 3 to go.
Or 4. Feeling?
It's difficult to get it above threshold, but yeah, quite aerobic strong. The lungs are working.
And where did you check your power now?
Yeah, it's like 380, 390.
So that means that on the next interval you will be targeting around 400 watts.
Yeah.
To bring up the lactate a little bit more. Goodie.
Good.
Very controlled on lactate still. 1.4 in lactate after the fourth interval. This is the fifth interval. Is yeah, most of the energy comes from fats. Very little from the glycolytic system. And that's of course what we want to see closing in on Ironman. But also that he doesn't fatigue too much on longer runs, but that thing stays fairly constant. Everything from biochemical to biomechanical efficiency. So basically for the calories he burns, we want to see more or less the same speed output or power, speed output primarily over the full duration of the run.
Six done. Oh. It's difficult to push above threshold, but I think the pace is a little bit faster than last time up here.
Yeah.
Even though we're doing twice the distance.
And it's actually still going uphill for this long duration with 3 hours, still with 3 hours easy running before today.
1 to go.
1 want to go.
There we have the top.
You'll see. Yeah. Will you finish at the center going down, or will you go to 2005 and go with the car down again?
We go to 2.5.
2.5. Sounds like a good plan. Yeah, we have never done an Ironman before, so it's actually our first project going towards Ironman. We obviously aim to take the World Championship next year in Ironman. On the road there, we'll do a few Ironmans, not many, but a few. And it means we have to learn also at the record pace. Ironman has a little bit different demands, or not, yeah, well, different demands than Olympic distance have. Also different than half Ironman. Of course, what we will try to do is to maintain more of the characteristics that we think are important to even raise the bar one more step in an Ironman. And that's basically by trying to maintain a fairly high VO2 max, but at the same time also bringing up the fractional utilization of oxygen at race pace fairly close to or as close as possible to the VO2 max, which then basically will allow Christian to run or swim, bike and run with the same glycolytic demand that others are doing at a slower speed, and glycogen reserves being the, I would say, biggest limitation. But the biggest difference is also that here we have to not able to only do that for a short time, but actually being able to maintain that for a very long time. So fatigue resistance, or the ability to maintain those characteristics for a very long duration, is important.
Said and done. Whew, that was a tough one. Got a bit rough in the end there. So now we have like 10 more minutes up to 2,500 meters. Starting from the bottom. And now we are here.
Oh yeah, showing beauty.
But not today. We ain't going up to the top today.
But up to 2005, which is basically where the gate is. Well, that's actually how far we can go with the car, no longer.
Yeah. Solid session today. So it was good to have a normal low lactate. It's been different first 3 weeks. A little bit higher lactate than normal, especially for the power. Today was good. That's enough for today. 28k almost.